What's going on, guys? Rival right here, and it's time to get controversial. Now, I don't want to be negative. I really want positivity when it comes to the Pokemon community and games. But unfortunately, I'm going to be very honest. Pokemon TCG Live is a problem. And it's a problem that we need to solve. And it's a shame because TCG Live does have some positive that could really help the community going forward. But unfortunately, due to some very common Pokemon problems in games, it not only has some pretty bad reviews, like some of the worst you're ever going to see for a Pokemon game, but at times it also feels incredibly hollow. Now, for people who aren't aware, Pokemon TCG Live is a successor to Pokemon TCG Online, which has been out for over a decade now. The game is supposed to act like some sort of facelift to the original game, and on the outside it could seem like it's going to be a positive thing to try and improve the game as a whole. There's actually a very big market for this when you consider all the other trading card games that exist. For example, Duel Links was very popular, which has now somewhat been usurped by Master Duel. You can think of Magic the Gathering. It's very clear that there is a market for playing card games online. Whether there will eventually be some card games on motorcycles, I do not know, but it is something that can be capitalized on and then some. But unfortunately for TCG Live, it's fallen a bit short. Let's look at both the positives and negatives that TCG Live has and why it's a problem. Now, for me personally, the best thing that TCG Live provides to Pokemon is an ability for people to re-enter or start getting used to the trading card game. And I'm actually a pretty good example of that. I've not really played Pokemon TCG competitively for years. One Christmas, I'm pretty sure all I got given was Yu-Gi-Oh! Pokemon cards. My obsession when I was younger and the want for them was incredible. Now, the unfortunate thing is it wasn't there when I got all these cards thrown away. I was getting like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards in the early 2000s. In fact, the earliest I think I can remember getting some is 2000 or 2001, give or take. So imagine how many cards I've thrown away that must be worth a lot of money. I can assure you I'm still kicking myself for that. Anyways, for years I've not really played the game too much, and I've generally forgot how to regularly play the game. Naturally, any card game meta changes very quickly, so it's actually very hard to keep up with the game, never mind somebody who's not played it for years and years. Well, playing TCG Live has certainly helped me pick things back up again, and generally get on top of how to play the series as a whole. I actually feel like I can play the Pokemon TCG once again after such a long time. Granted, it's nothing like playing it in person, but the general rules and ideas behind the game are easy to pick up and play, and Pokemon TCG Live can help people get used to that. It also provides the possibility to play the game anytime and anywhere, without having to invest in countless card packs or actually going to events in person. Granted, we will get onto the fact that the game is trying to encourage you to buy packs in person, but the reality is you can still play the game without having to pay, which in itself is a positive benefit. Especially as you get older, the ability to naturally free up your time to go and play in real life tournaments starts to become incredibly difficult. And the same goes with the crushing pain of adult life and money. You might really want to play the trading card game, but due to the cost of doing so, you will avoid doing it. Having an online card game allows you to pick up and play on your own terms. I could sit there 8 PM at night while my partner's editing a video or doing something else, and just play a few quick games. The freedom to do this is fantastic for people like myself who may not have as much time as they used to play them anymore. But unfortunately, the easiness of playing the game as well as helping returning new players is where the positives actually kind of end. The system itself is very flawed, especially when it comes to getting card packs. I recently did a video where I had some Pokemon packs pick my showdown team, and my main takeaway from that was A, I suck at competitive Pokemon, and very badly, but B, Pokemon features a lot of those cards inside that promote you buying packs and then going on to TCG Live. The system is heavily geared towards actively encouraging you to buy packs in real life, then transfer them over to TCG Live. And look, it shouldn't come as a shock to anybody that it exists with a reason of monetizing the trading card game online. The reality is they won't want to miss out on any potential opportunity of earning money via an online system. But the blatant attempt to make that clear is shocking to me. This is actually further amplified by the fact the game does not actually have any option for any microtransactions. Now, I never want to promote microtransactions. In fact, I actually welcome the idea that the game does not have them. They have now become quite a big core element of every game now, especially for anything that's free to play, in order to help benefit the company by making things pay to win. But the fact that they don't have any in-game itself, but have the ability for card packs to be put into the game via buying packs in real life, really solidifies the idea that they're trying to push people to buy more and more packs in person, And trust me, I would love to sit there and open loads of packs, but unfortunately it's a lot of money that I do not have. Alongside this, the game kind of feels like a massive downgrade on its predecessor. TCG Online boasted a lot more features this game does not have, including the ability to trade with other players. This is actually a really big and important feature that can be helpful to players of the game. In fact, it's a big core element of trading card games in general. It requires for one the player to know the value of what they have, and to think, well, I can get a lot more for this, that might actually benefit yourself. An early memory of mine is definitely the ability to swap and trade Pokemon cards with fellow players when I was younger. Did I know the value of the cards that I was trading? Not really, but it makes it fun when you see someone has a card you want, and you have a card they want, and you can swap them. With a lot less cards available due to the wipeout of any form of TCG Online from when it came out, we've seen quite a bit of a drop in the pool available to everyone that plays. A lot of these cards were used in a format that no longer exists in Legacy, which allowed you to play old cards in some way. Now they're just gone. The lack of an ability to communicate, you can't see all your cards properly sometimes. We can honestly go on and on with the problems the game has compared to its predecessor. The game, for people who have played it, really feels like a lot more features have been taken away instead of provided to them. That's not to say that nothing's been provided to them. The ability to craft cards is a great addition. It's definitely something that helps with Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel when it comes to deck building, especially if you just need one card. But the amount of features that is added are minimal compared to the features taken away. But the thing is, it's not just that it feels like a downgrade, it also feels a bit lifeless and buggy. I have unfortunately said this countless times on my channel, such as when I discussed the potential of a Gen 5 remake, or Gen 4's actual remakes. But the idea that we just release games now with bugs existing that crash the game or lead to freezing, or things like time delays, is just an absurd concept that is making gaming in general much worse than it needs to be. Now, I'm not saying that we need to release masterpieces, but if there's clear problems, we should not be having games released when not at the correct capacity needed. This is actually made worse for TCG Live's case when TCG Online already existed. The game went into its beta around mid-2022 depending on your region, fully launching on June 8th this year. That's about a year worth of time before actually launching, but the bugs were still not fully fixed or solved. And despite that, the game still went live and placed TCG Online in the recycle bin before it was actually fully prepared to take over. The bugs and problems helped transition into the fact that the game generally feels a bit lifeless at the moment. There's not enough to do, not enough to explore and see, there's quite a lot of problems. It's unfortunately failing the community. Now, let's compare this to another big card-based free-to-play game that accompanies a massive franchise. Now, I could talk about Magic's one or Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, but as I've mentioned it a few times, I think it's important to focus on Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, and the massive difference available in that game currently compared to TCG Live. First things first is the options open to you in Master Duel. So on Pokemon, you can play against people online ranked or casual, and that's currently it. Like, literally. That's it. Master Duel offers not just the ability to play ranked or casual, but themed options open up on a schedule that actually offer the player not just sample decks that you can use. One of my favourites is anything that allows me to use Blue Eyes or Red Eyes, by the way, which despite not being meta are definitely my favourite ones to gravitate towards. Nowadays I'm so out of the meta I've resorted to using Sky Striker's deck. Anyways, Master Duel has some form of single campaign that TCG Live does not, which once again allows you to see multiple different ways of playing, acting as both a tutorial and a way to explore different concepts. Even down to how you open packs feels different. Master Duel makes it feel really important when you get a good card. It's like you're opening these cards in real life, whereas TCG Live just feels lifeless. And that's a serious issue. Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! Make up two of the biggest card games in the entire market. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is estimated to have sold around 35 billion cards in its lifetime, whereas Pokemon is estimated to have sold over 52 billion cards in its lifetime. Now that's not to say Master Duel doesn't have its own problems, because of course it does. But Yu-Gi-Oh! As a franchise has gone on to make not one, but two popular free-to-play games, especially when you consider Duel Links. It's a shame that Cross Duel didn't last longer, I like the idea. But if Yu-Gi-Oh! Are managing to release free-to-play games generally well received, Pokemon as an even bigger franchise does not have the excuse. Now, as I've said, this does not mean the game has to be an absolute masterpiece straight away. Master Duel had a lot of problems early on, even more so than it currently has now, but it's definitely in a better position to play. So what can Pokemon do to make the game better? Well, first things first is definitely the quality of life changes, including the multiple bugs and problems that exist. This has been a very ongoing problem with Pokemon in general, and I feel like every video I'm kind of repeating myself. This is not just in your main series games, but also in your free-to-play model games as well. Things are released when they shouldn't be, and the problems exist, either being fixed in post or not even fixed at all. And that's clearly something that's not been given the correct amount of effort. But this game has something there. It's very good for getting people back up to speed, but the unfortunate situation is that it could be ruined by a glitch in screen, or the sometimes lifeless UX. I mean, look at the battle screen. This is on the PC. Why is there so much space on screen? It's even down to the importance of opening packs. How are you supposed to get amped up for the game if the game isn't amped itself? As mentioned with Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, a variety of options is important for everyone. Some people who play this game will want to be able to play a quick little game if they can, whether that's online or single player style. Sometimes you don't want to play online against a deck you've seen 4 times already today. It becomes a big problem when you're unable to explore or actually have fun with the series, and its only options are, yep, just play a few games online, get annoyed with the problems that exist, and then put it down for a while. I'm hopeful that this can be solved. In fact, it's a benefit for all of us that it is. Having an online game that not only actively promotes it, but it also allows a lot of people who do not play the physical game to still play and be involved within the community like myself. If they can improve the quality of life changes, add options within the game, and promote it correctly, we can hopefully get a trading card game online for Pokemon that it truly deserves. And then everyone can annihilate me on it because I'm not very good at it as it stands anyways. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe as it really helps out my channel. I really want to hear your opinion on the TCG Live game. Have you had positive experiences with it? Do you think it's a problem? And what do you want to see from TCG Live going forward? Make sure to comment down below. See you next time, guys.